5. End zone. Touchdown, Titans! 52 yards for the King! And the Titans zoom in front. Yeah, I like the word zoom. I like Derrick Henry out in the open, too. Yeah, Henry, left side. There's nobody there. Touchdown, Titans! The King could have walked in. Tannehill looks left, comes back to the right. Rolling, he can run this in. What a cut. Finger roll. Touchdown, Titans. He's from Big Springs, Texas. Tannehill keeps around left end, racing for the pylon. How about a finger roll? Touchdown, Titans. Yes. Ryan Tannehill says, forget it. I'll do it myself. Well, they were jamming up everything and packing it up.
Welcome to another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Your host, 80 and my man, G. Witt.
Tighten up, baby. AFC South.
Back once again. The cardiac Titans pull off another last minute. You got to give a shout out, man, to Sam Sloman, man. Here we go, man. Yeah. Miami University. I wear my sweatshirt to give a shout out to the University of Ohio, Miami of Ohio. My man, Anthony Collier, playing D-line, and the kicker, Sam Sloman, with the doink for the win in the Vision Championship. In a game which, I thought, Grover, that shouldn't have been as close as it was. You saw some things out of the defense that you liked. Then you saw some things out of the defense that was expected of how they played all season. But at the end of the day, they went down there, they took care of business. Derrick Henry goes over 2,000 yards. Shout out to him, man. Congratulations. What a great feat for that young man. Almost 250 yards rushing for the game. Yeah, really dominated the line of scrimmage as far as that goes. They really, really kept Tannehill pretty clean in the pocket for the most part. And, it took a team effort to win this game today.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing it was, first of all, just congratulations for the team. First of all, you win the AFC South, which is what you wanted to do. So you got a home playoff game. Granted, it wasn't the way that we wanted it or anybody wanted it, but you still got the win. Like you said, a field goal kicker, shout out to him. Didn't realize he's a rookie. And that was, as the commentator was saying on TV, it's the most pressure-packed field goal he's ever made. He dunked it, but he made it. And that counts. That's all he – I mean, it counts. So, the bottom line, he got the 3 points. We won the game. Let's give a shout-out, man, to, besides Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, man. A.J. Brown, phenomenal game. And shout-out to Ryan Tannehill on that long bomb to get us in field goal range. The only thing I was upset with on that play, Vrabel didn't call timeout quick enough.
Yeah, he could have got in trouble right there.
Yeah, as soon as you see the man down, call timeout. Be done with it. You trying to go for don't leave it up in the hands of your kicker. Go for the touchdown. But overall, like you said, good team win. Defense, I think what's going on with the defense, as far as I'm concerned, is that it looks like when we had the big lead, they decided they're going to play safe, and that never works for us. Yeah, we're not a safe defense. Can't play safe.
And I agree with you, man. I thought they took, if you can say that about the defense for once this year, they took their foot off the pedal. I like I said, I like some things that they showed in this game. They showed more exotic blitzes. They gave different coverage looks. They pressed a little bit more. You saw Dory get in there and lock up on Brandon Cooks some. And, so you like those things, and you see Christian Fulton's back. So they got the full complement of secondary is back now. And, you just wonder, and we've been talking about this too, Grover, for the last few weeks or so, as this team gets healthy, will the defense show more? And they did show more, but I agree with you wholeheartedly that I think they took their foot off the gas somewhat in that second half and got complacent with that big lead that they had.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, they showed a telling stat at the game midway through. The Titans have had, over the past 5 games, 3 sacks.
Right.
And they got 3 sacks early against Deshaun Watson. I think they were thinking that they had taken the wind out of themselves or whatever, but you got to understand this team. They've been playing like this all season long. They wasn't just going to sit down, lay down, and just let us run over.
Right.
So, that's really on Vrabel misreading the game. One of the few times I would actually say that he actually misread the game, because you don't take your foot off the gas against Deshaun Watson and that Houston offense, nor against that Houston defense, because once they scored, you think about it, you giving their defense life, and that's what happened. All of a sudden they come out, all of a sudden the running lanes get smaller. Derrick Henry can't make plays. Derrick Henry does the rare thing, fumbles, not once but twice.
Right. Yeah, just about lost that second one too.
No, he did. Yeah, almost. If Kelly wasn't there to jump on it.
Right.
Yeah. So, the thing about it is, Derrick Henry's going to hit the hot tub, man. He's got to cool. He got to rejuvenate really quick. Luckily, as it stands right now, they're saying we may play next Sunday, which would be good. Give him a full week of rest and everything. But man, he what can you say about Derrick Henry, man? What we haven't said already since the whole time he's been here.
Yeah, and then you got to give a shout out to the offensive line, man. I'm gonna give another shout out to Aaron Brewer, man. Great blocking, bad call on the whole by the officials. The officials took two touchdowns away. 2 touchdowns away right there at the end. That could have been costly. The Newhouse reports as an eligible receiver because of his number, and they call illegal formation when he's on in the line of scrimmage. That's no. He did what he's supposed to do. So I'm not sure.
That's why he was so upset.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what. But anyway, you got to give Aaron Brewer. He came in for Sappho, played good. You like to see these young guys coming in, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough matchup. I like the odds better against Baltimore, and I'll tell you why as we get going in the show. But I didn't like the Buffalo matchup so much because of the road and potential weather issue. But Baltimore, I believe we have a better matchup in that one. But for this game though, Grover, like I said, you like what you saw of the defense earlier. They took the foot off the gas, but you like the fact that the offense kept pressing. They did get kind of in a slump there for a minute. And like you said, Houston got some momentum, started making penetration in the backfield. But Arthur Smith, he continued. He trying to get just a little bit cute there for a minute, Scrap the toss sweep, please. We've been saying that for the last few
weeks. That's what I was going to say before you beat me to it. Because I was the first play. I'm like, dude, every time you run the toss sweep, it doesn't work. The thing that I like that they did more today than they have in the past few games is Tannehill ran the ball more. They ran the RPOs. Yeah. And with Derrick Henry in there, J.J. Watt was constantly crashing down, so he was able to get outside. And that's the thing about it. Like you said, the offensive line, I thought they did great. I thought on that hold on Brewer, that was just a bogus call, man. And when you look at the replay on it, you're like, what do you want him to do? He's blocking. He didn't even have a hold of the jersey.
No, you take away a dominant block by offensive line. Dominated. He had this guy on skates down the field, and you call it.
And you call a hold.
Right.
So, man, it was just one of those games where I just felt like, okay, I don't know if the odds are against us. Somebody's been complaining and they just had to make up some calls or whatever. Because Deshaun Watson and then they were complaining about pass interference calls the whole game, and I'm like, there was no pass interference.
No.
So it's just one of them things. Like you said, the offense after the first quarter they got in the groove. They started moving the ball, started running the ball well. Defensively, they brought some good blitzes. They created pressure, which is what they had to do. Again, on that last drive where they kicked the tying field goal, Vrabel goes back into that soft zone, and Adore lets the man get behind him. And I'm like, you got to understand your team. The soft zone doesn't work for you. That's why they brought up the stat that I think we lead the league or second in the league in the number of times we play man, because we can't play zone.
That's right.
We have no pass rush to play zone. And Deshaun Watson had, on a lot of plays, had plenty of time to throw the ball.
He did. And I'm going to tell you something that I think we talked about a few weeks ago, if not last week. But, Jack Crawford, let me bring him up for a second, Grover, because I think they got him playing out of position, because we talked about him rushing on the edge. And so you saw today when he's on the inside, he's a better pass rusher. He beats his man one-on-one, and he gets a sack. And so stop playing the guy out there. I think they got something in Wyatt. They can play on the edge. You saw Brooks Reed come in and get a little pressure. So they got some guys that can play there now instead of putting Crawford on the edge. Let him play more on the inside. Him and Jeffrey Simmons, they can create some matchup problems, because Jack Crawford, he's a big guy. He can move, and he can obviously rush the passer, because you saw it today. Yeah,
great spin move by him on that one sack, man. That was just a beautiful play by him. And I thought Jeffrey Simmons played really well, played really strong. And again, like we said last week, that the team, you have to break out all the stops, because now it's now or never. You don't want to have to go on the road. So you go out there, and you saw defensively they came out with a game plan that they were going to push the envelope, let some plays happen. Still can't figure out what's going on with Kevin Byard in his pass coverage and in his blocking.
Golly.
I mean, out of position all the way around. The double team on Brandon Cooks when he called on the 2. I'm like, how do you let him get past you? You don't, it's one of those things, man, where you just shake your head at this defense sometimes and some of the things they did. David Long had another good game. Missed a few tackles, but overall had a good game.
Rashad Evans, Christian Fulton.
I thought Christian Fulton played okay.
Yeah.
And Adoree Jackson is playing good, but you got to see this team come back, and they got to be ready to play against Baltimore. And got to be ready to stop. Baltimore ran for 400 yards today, man.
Man, I know it. I know it.
You got to be ready to stop the run.
So Eddie Gray says, man, 4 sacks. What has that been all season long? And I think, again, I go back to, I think now more healthier, more speed in the secondary. You can be just a little bit more aggressive. Now, I'm not making no excuse for them running that soft scheme that they've been running all year, because they've been doing it all season, and you even saw it in the second half. But again, you saw at the beginning of the game, they had a great game plan. They were pressing the envelope, like you said, Grover. They were getting after Deshaun Watson, wouldn't let him stay in the pocket, although they did drop back more after that. But again, you saw some things today that if the defense can come out and get some stops, I don't care if they give up 30 points. If you can get some stops and your offense score 35, you can win the game.
Absolutely. And that was the thing that happened today, really, in all honesty. We got the defensively, we got some stops, surprisingly, because we really hadn't been stopping anybody all season. So I was impressed with that. And again, I think the thing that impressed me more about what they did defensively was the fact that they actually manufactured pressure.
Yes.
And you at the point right now for the remainder of throughout the playoffs, you have to manufacture pressure, because you're giving quarterbacks way too much time to throw the ball. I mean, and you asking too much of your D linemen and your outside linebackers to have to chase them down when they run out. So you have got to manufacture the pressure, get there, and make the sack. And that's going to be the whole deal.
Right. And as like I said, as the secondary has gotten healthy, you can only cover so long. I mean, I don't care who you got back there. And if the front 3, front 4 are not getting the pressure that you so desire, they're going to get open. The receivers are going to finally get open, because the quarterback can stand back there all day long. And I mean, Deshaun Watson it was periods in the game, man. He was in the pocket for 7 to 10 seconds. And that's really unheard of in the NFL, especially these days with so many passing offenses and how defenses are having to, disguise coverages and bring exotic blitzes. But man, they've got to do something different there. But again, I go back to the beginning. They did some things today that I think that they could continue to press forward, because now, like you said, it's win or go home, and there's no tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow. So you got to break out all the stops from now on. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what they do. Like you said earlier, I do favor the Baltimore matchup more. I don't know what we're going to do against them, to be honest with you, but definitely didn't want to go to Buffalo. That was something that you just definitely did not want to do, because that was going to be another cold weather game. Snow, maybe no snow.
Yeah.
If it's snow, it was probably going to be a wrap, because obviously we don't play good in the snow. Any version of the Titans don't play good in the snow, except for Eddie George and them back in the day when they went to Cleveland and won in the snow. But other than that, these other guys, man, they too. I don't want to use the word, the S word, but I would say that they're a little light when it comes to playing in the snow, man. They're just not used to it. But
exactly.
But here's the thing about it. The thing that I was worried about today, Corey Davis really concerned me.
What was
he
wrong
had
with him today?
concentration issues, man.
Yeah, he did.
He had concentration issues, which is unlike him.
Right.
You're talking about a guy that basically didn't have a drop throughout the first half of the season.
Right.
And he had 3 or 4 in this game.
Yes.
It's just
big time plays.
He had some great ones.
Yes. Big time plays.
I mean, that's one thing on that last drive when they took up all that time. The thing you like about it is they made first downs. They kept driving the ball.
That's right.
Kept driving the ball. First down, running Derrick Henry, passing when you had to. A couple of plays you had to hope they were going to make, because it was 3rd and long, and they got them. So you're just proud of the team. Like I said, offensively, We know what we got. Defensively, that's the wild card, man. What the fantasy is, Vrabel's been holding back something that he's going to unveil in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the hope. Like I said, with your full complement of defensive backs back now, everybody's healthy in the secondary. Pretty much your team is pretty much healthy except for the offensive line. AJ Brown, he's still dealing with that ankle. You saw today, give him some problems on one of the tackles that he suffered. But yeah, like you said, you hope that they've been holding stuff back. As you look at the third down efficiency today for the Texans, they were 5 of 12. Better job by the Titans today, and we were 7 of 10. So good job for the offense as well, converting those third downs. And one thing that we talked about, and it's been weeks ago again, Grove, was that this offense can play in any kind of mode. They can grind it out. They got a 2-minute offense, and they could just enforce their will and get down the field and score when they want to. And so you like that. You like to be able to do that because you saw when after Houston made the tying field goal, the offense was able to get down there. Great shot going downfield, being an aggressive to AJ Brown. They saw Tannehill saw the coverage. He saw it was a man-on-man coverage, single man coverage, and he threw a great ball to AJ Brown. And you like to see that out of the offense, that they didn't sit back and rely on going to overtime. Go for the win as you should be.
Hey, when you're on the road, man, you always go for the win. You never play for overtime. Right. Right. You go for the win whether you get it or not. You go for the win, but. Another person we just got to give credit. I think we don't talk about him enough. Yes, and I think today we saw a great example of the great job that Ryan Tannehill is doing with this team.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
definitely.
There were some plays, man, he made, and I'm not talking about with his legs. I'm talking about with the pressure coming on him.
Yes.
And putting the ball out there. That pass you mentioned to AJ Brown, we saw one-on-one coverage, and he put it up for and let AJ go get it. Strong hands, bring it down. First down. The pass he threw to Corey Davis for the first down, where the linebacker, I think, was all over him.
Yeah.
And he caught the ball, turned, got the first down. You got to give Tannehill his credit, man. He's playing great football, and he's throwing the ball all over the place. I mean, Jonnu Smith making a catch, Herschel making a catch, and it's like we say, he's got a full complement of weapons.
Yep.
With a running game. The only thing I wish they would do more often is leave Derrick Henry on third down.
I agree.
Because that absolutely gives the defense pause when you run play action on third down.
That's
now,
exactly right.
McNichols does a great job. I'm still wondering why they hadn't played 32. God, his name was just
Darrington Evans. Yeah,
Darrington Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Still wondering why they're not playing him on third down, but I'm thinking it's probably because they don't want to stress that hamstring any more than it already has. They want them ready for the playoffs. So,
and I think you see now who's going to be in that slot more often than not is Desmond King. He played a pretty good game today. He was blitzing off the edge, causing some havoc. And so, they even blitzed Adore one time as well. And so you like to see that stuff being mixed in, man. This is the things that Dean Pease excelled in last season, bringing that slot corner, bringing it different sides of the field, bringing different folks, dropping folks off in coverage, giving different looks. And, it's going to be tough, but I totally agree with you, though. Ryan Tannehill, I don't see why he's not in the conversation for MVP. That's my opinion. He should be, because he's done a great job with this team. Derrick Henry's going to get all the headlines, but if you look at how efficient Tannehill's been all season long, over 30-some touchdowns and single-digit interceptions, that's a great season for a quarterback that was supposed to be washed up when he came here, was bad luggage for the Dolphins, and it came here, as a backup, and now look at him excelling, and his offense is one of the top 3 in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see what he can do. Really, when he has protection, you can also see what he can do when he takes care of himself. You notice he's running the ball. He's getting down. He's not really trying to take on a whole lot.
Right.
He's not overdoing it. That was the thing I liked about it. I mean, he got away with one in the end zone. I think if it had been a cornerback or something, that might have been done, but he got away with that one. But the bottom line was, when you saw the pass, you knew he didn't see the guy drop back in coverage, and he was throwing to the spot. But other than that, man, I mean, really, there wasn't a bad pass that he threw in this game other than that one. I thought all the passes were good. I mean, the one he threw long to Corey Davis that went out of bounds, I thought that was a great pass to try to get, at least with J.J. Watt bearing down on you, try to make a play to where only your man is going to get it. And if Corey Davis could have got around and made a play on it, I think we would have got at least a pass interference out of that call or whatever. But it was a great throw by him, I thought, as far as making sure that we had a shot.
You're exactly right, because if he could have stepped into it as a touchdown, but just to get it off and to avoid the sack, man, that was a great play by Tanny. And one of the questions coming in, Grover, thank y'all for the comments, by the way, and the support of the show. Ada Gray says, is Henry the first running back to rush for 2,000 yards in high school, college, and NFL? That'd be something I had to look up. That's a good question. I'm not sure about it. I think high school, maybe he might be the first. He might be the first to do it. I'm not sure, but good question though, really.
Yeah, I was surprised, and I think we almost had a chance, man, for some big plays. I mean, you think about it. Derrick Henry went over 2,000. Yep. I think A.J. Brown went over 1,000.
Yep.
If Corey Davis makes his catches, he goes over 1,000.
Yep. He 16 shy, I think.
Yeah, he ended up with only 39 yards in receiving. So, and I think Tannehill went over 4,000 in this game. So offensively, like I said, the sad thing about the greatness of this offense is the weakness of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, you can't avoid it, right? You just can't avoid it.
You just can't avoid it, man.
You're right. Because it's to me, and this is my opinion, I just don't think this game should have been that close. We were dominating.
No, it shouldn't have.
They were dominating Houston for a better part of about, I'm gonna say 2.5 quarters. I'm gonna say it that way, because the third quarter is when it started slipping away.
Yeah,
but for the most
part,
third quarter. Yeah, for the most part, they were dominating the football game, and even the defense was playing good. And then all of a sudden, you go for it on 4th and 11, which I don't understand why he did that right there. You punt, you don't get cute.
Well, I was gonna say that's my whole point. If you're not going to kick a field goal, and you don't go for it on 4th and 11, you punt the ball, and you got. Let's be honest about it. You got the best punter in the game. Mm-hmm. Who can give you a knuckleball punt, pooch it, and pin them deep. So I'm sure Vrabel's looking at that one. That's what I said. He's looking at that one as like, he had for lack of a better term, he just had a brain aneurysm or something like that, man. He just lost it, because you don't do that. You just don't.
Right. Actually, Tannehill, thank you all for that correction. He threw for 3,600, looks like, if this is updated for the season. So he was short of the 4,000. But again, I mean, excellent season, for Tannehill. Yeah. Great job. He was 4th in QBR rating, and tied for 7th in touchdowns. And so, man, it was, a great, outstanding year. So, the Titans going to roll. We knew it was going to be a tough game. We talked about it last week. They did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to run Derrick Henry he couldn't run no more, and they did that. He went over 2,000 yards, a great accomplishment for him in his career. That's an elite club to get to that level on 34 carries, 250 yards. AJ Brown, 10 receptions for 151 yards, and the defense had 4 sacks and a turnover. They forced an interception. And so here we go, man. Here we go to the playoffs, get a home game. You got the Ravens coming in, and right off the rip, revenge factor in their minds, right? Grove.
Man, when I saw how the potential lineup was going to be, that was the one thing I really didn't want to see, man, because history. I mean, we overcame history last year in the playoffs. I thought we did a good job against them, shaking that jinx. Whereas that time they were the number 1 seed, had the week off. We went in there and we beat them. This year, there's no number 1 seed for us. So we're both coming off of games, got to continue playing. So we're going to see what they do. They're going to change up the offense. And the thing about it is what Vrabel's going to do with the defense, because you're going to have to be ready, because, like I said, they're running the ball better now. Mm-hmm. And Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball better. So it's going to be an interesting game. Defensively, we got to be ready to go. And, they're going to have, after we done ran on them 2 games in a row, they're going to come in here wanting to make sure that Derrick Henry doesn't run on them again. So It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, Derrick Henry has carried the ball, 372 times this season?
Yeah, he's got a lot more carries.
He's got a lot more carries to go. So, it's going to be one of them things. But it's going to be interesting, because defensively is where it's going to be.
Yeah,
we know the game plan to stop Lamar Jackson from running, but you're talking about Dobbins, you're talking about Ingram. They're all coming with a chip on their shoulder.
Gus Edwards, yeah.
So we got to be ready to go defensively. And linebackers and everybody's got to be ready to go. David Long,
right?
Evans, Landry, all of them got to be ready to go.
And you got the top 2 running teams in the NFL. The Ravens averaging 177 a game. The Titans, of course, at 160. The Ravens, one of the top defenses in the NFL, and they do what they do best. They run the football. They run some read option. They run some quick game, letting Lamar get out of the pocket and throwing the ball quickly. And here's why I think, Grover, as I said earlier, I think we match up better with them. It's because it seems like we have a game plan that works against Lamar Jackson. I mean, it does. You look at the last 2 matchups, the game plan was to make him run horizontal and not vertical, and they did that. I'm not saying it's going to work this time. It might not, but the game plan is usually pretty solid against the Ravens. Running the football. Of course, they got Hollywood Brown as a deep threat. They got some guys, Dez Bryant. I don't know if he played today, but he's a big receiver. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And so our work's going to be cut out, man. They're scoring a lot of points. They're hot right now. And, we've got to be able to contain Lamar Jackson and not let them run it. Let the running game be explosive as it normally is. And I think if we can limit the explosive plays from Lamar Jackson, not let him have an MVP-type game, I think we can hang right there with him and pull out the victory at the end.
And that's going to be the entire key, because one of the things that really the Titans have done well defensively over the past 2 times they played him is that they've pretty much kept him in the pocket. They hadn't let him get outside to run and throw. They pretty much kept him isolated in the pocket, which forces him to be a little bit more accurate. Secondary, again, it's good that we got our full complement of secondary players back, but we got to get pressure to make him throw the ball quick. We got to be able to cover tight ends because that's his favorite target. So it's going to be a lot. Offensively, though, our wideouts are going to have to win some matches, man, and they struggle against Baltimore.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough getting open.
It's going to be tough.
They got some good DBs. They got guys back there that can cover. Marlon Humphreys, Marcus Peters. They got guys that can cover a man coverage and cause problems. So, and they're going to blitz. They love to blitz. They blitz every down.
They blitz a lot. That's a lot. But I give Tannehill his credit today. Even when like I said, when the pressure came, he got the ball out quick, didn't hold it, got it to the right person, made the right read. So that's what you like about it. But again, Houston's defense is not Baltimore's defense. So it's going to be a totally different game. And they just need to, again, enjoy the win on the way home and just knock it out their mind and get ready to start tomorrow and start working on Baltimore, because that's who you got coming in and you got to win.
Somebody asked about Adam Humphries. Is he going to be back? I'm not really sure about that. I think he's still concussion protocol, and so we'll see.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. With the concussion that he took, with that hit,
he might be done for his career.
He's done. I would put it like this. If I don't expect to see him in the playoffs, regardless of how many games we play. But I would say he probably, if at best, he needs to wait and come back next year. And really, like you said, he might have to retire.
Yeah,
because that was a major concussion he took.
That was a big hit, and I agree with you, Dion. That was a great point to bring up. That the Titans had a good game plan today, and they got to face a Lamar Jackson type player. Even though Lamar Jackson probably got more quick twitch than Deshaun Watson, but similar as far as their game goes. And so they got a good preview of what to expect next week.
Yeah.
And so I expect them to be prepared, Grover. And I seriously think they're going to beat Baltimore, and I think they're going to do it by containing that run game, and you'll see what happens. And I think the defense, again, I just saw some out of the defense today, man, that I hadn't seen all year, and it got me hopeful that they can play that aggressive, for the whole entire game. And granted, like we said, they took their foot off the pedal in the second half, which I never think they should do that at any rate, at any time of the game. But I think that they can cause some problems for Lamar Jackson. With now you got Adoree back, and he seems like he's getting in his groove. You got Christian Fulton back. You got Desmond King playing good. You got Malcolm Butler still playing at a high level. If we can get Kevin Byard to get his head up and get it out of the sand, out of the mud, out of the muck, or whatever he's doing back there, get it out, get the fogginess out and get in position to make plays. Do what you do best. Ball hawk.
Yeah.
Ball hawk.
I'm telling you, man, Kevin Byard and Rashad Evans are two mysteries from this season that I have yet to figure out what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just have to say it, man. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
With either one of them. I mean, you just see it, man. It's like I've never seen him play like this. I mean, you know, Kevin Byers usually always in position and ready to make a play. And this season, he hasn't been anywhere near, you know, making plays or anything. He's if the running back breaks into the secondary, he's scared to go up and make the tackle, make the hard tackle. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And Rashad Evans, man, I'm just mystified. I mean, I'm serious. I am. I mean, you know, he played. I thought he played good today.
Yeah, he did.
But you know, overall, I'm just mystified at how he's played this year. It's just from the way he played last year and the way he's playing this year is just night and day, and I just don't get it. But David Long Jr. is playing good. Like you said, Jack Crawford made a good play. Our boy, Big Jeff. Was all over the place. Making some plays, so you know he's gonna come to play. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win. You know, Baltimore. That old school Titan fan in me, man, is just always wary of Baltimore, man. I've been disappointed too many times.
All right, so just like I said last year, when it was our turn to get, so they came to our place twice and beat us at home in the playoffs, right?
Right.
It's our time again. It's time. So we got some revenge factor too, because the last two times we played at home against Baltimore in the playoffs, we got beat. And so now it's time. It's time. And ironically, it was both times they were number one seeds.
Right.
So anyway, I think, you know, you run Derrick Henry, of course. You limit Lamar Jackson making those big chunk plays down the field. You know, last year when he had 500 some yards of offense, but they only had 12 points. Okay.
Right.
We can live with that. If he has 500 yards and they rush, you know, and the running backs only have 50 yards combined rushing, hey man, that's a great day, really, if you think about it. I like the Eddie Gray says, you know, you pay bump and run. You don't allow Hollywood Brown and Snead to get open and get loose. And I don't know who they're gonna put on Mark Andrews, because if Biden is not playing well, then who else are they gonna match up with? Desmond King, maybe. Desmond King, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Desmond King, you know, because Amani Hooker can't really cover. You know, this is when you really miss somebody like a Dane Christian.
Yes.
You know, who could be out there helping out and everything. So, yeah, like I said, it's just a totally different ballgame. We're gonna see, man. But I think we got a good shot at this, and I'm just glad we got a home playoff game, and we'll get to see what happens, man. But today was a big win, huge win.
It was.
I consider it one of those stepping stone wins where you had to go and beat a team who you knew was going to play you tough.
Oh yeah,
and go out and get a win. I can't say enough about getting the ball with 18 seconds left and taking a shot. I just, you know, I can't say enough about that.
Right.
You know,
got some questions, man. Want to get them in real quick. Let's see. Jabbar says home time has not yet been determined yet. So, you know, home team has yet to win a playoff game in this series. I'm sorry. He said it changes next week. Let's see. Melissa says, will we have a successful playoff run if the receivers keep dropping passes? Great question. So you can't be successful if your receivers continue to drop passes. Again, in crucial moments too today. One in particular I thought Grover he would have scored on is that one across the middle going to the right side of the screen. Where he would have turned up the field and probably would have came close to scoring if not scoring. But drop passes will get you beat. In particular, if you cannot successfully run a football, you get in second and third and long where you need those big plays. That'll get you beat every time.
Absolutely, and that was going to be an issue. That was going to be a tough one anyway. Because but you can't win if the receivers are dropping the ball. Right. Bottom line, receivers got to make catches. That's the reason why they were talking to Corey Davis on the sideline. Something obviously had him distracted to where his concentration wasn't there. But you saw he came back later, started making catches and everything. He's still a good baller. And I hope they bring him back. I mean, I think we have a good tandem at receiver.
Yeah, you got to give Corey some leeway. I guess he just had a baby, so he said he hadn't much sleep at home. So,
that could be true.
That could be a factor of him not being ready to play in that first half today. But thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments, 8 Hour LG with keys to the game. Give them to me, Grover, for next week. Give them to me. Give me your keys for victory over the Baltimore Ravens. How do we slow down this train called Baltimore?
Well, I think really what we've done in the past is what we're going to do again. I've said it earlier. You try to contain Lamar Jackson, keep him in the pocket. If he gets out, make him run sideline to sideline. Don't give him the middle of the field. Again, making sure that we cover. And we got to get pressure on him too. I mean, one of the good things about last year and that's we missed this year was having Jarrell Casey manufacturing that pressure for you, and you just don't have anybody that can do it right now. To your point earlier, playing Jack Crawford inside, allowing him to work that way may be a better opportunity.
Yeah.
But again, I said earlier, we got to run the ball, obviously, but receivers have got to win.
They got to
Receivers
win.
have got to win. And make those contested catches and take it to the house. I mean, we got to put pressure on them defensively in order to keep the pressure. Because one thing I noticed, and the last two times is that when the pressure starts getting to them,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to get a little shaky.
They do. You're exactly right. And one thing I was going to mention is that, and Deion said it, man, and I like this, what he said. He said, here's his theory on the defense, and I tend to agree with what he's saying. Of course, there was no real offseason, right? So they didn't get to implement their scheme the way they wanted to, a new scheme. No OTAs, no preseason, maybe 2 weeks of team practice together, and they tried to learn on the fly. Plus, you lost some leaders on the defensive side of the ball, and you had some injuries as well. Again, I say, with the secondary healthy, 100% all the way across the board, I think you see more of scheme and blitzing and more man coverage. And so,
Hey,
look.
Let me just clarify this before you give your points. Yeah, they didn't have a great offseason or anything like that, and they had injuries. But here's the key. Good defensive coordinators come up with ways to maximize the players that they have.
That's true.
The one thing we notice about this defense this season is the fact that it's a scheme, but it doesn't maximize the players and it doesn't adjust to what the offense is doing to them.
Right.
If the scheme ain't working, they have no adjustments to the scheme. It's no different than the same problem we used to have with the Jeff Fisher offense. It's a scheme offense. If the defense figures it out, we're done.
And maybe they learned something, and they've been working on stuff. Because, like I said, again, I just go back to the beginning of the game. I like what I saw. But here we go. So for them to beat Baltimore next week, we already talked about it. Limit Lamar Jackson's big plays. Keep him in the pocket. Make him make the tough throws. Play some more man-to-man coverage, tighten the coverage up, make him put the ball on the money. Can he do that consistently against tight coverage? We'll see that. Again, run Derrick Henry, stop the run for Baltimore, and make Lamar Jackson beat you. That's what you got to do. And you got to consistently attack Baltimore, play action, Derrick Henry, of course. And the receivers have got to get up. Because one thing you do know, if you've been watching here the last few weeks, the officials are letting the DBs and receivers play. And Baltimore will mug you out there on the outside if they can get away with it. And so they're going to have to win those one-on-one battles. I totally agree with you on that. And
our tight ends are going to do the job too. I mean, Jonnu Smith, Furska, Swain, even Blasingame, who hasn't been used in the passing game hardly this year, they're all going to come out there and be ready to play and give Tannehill options to get rid of the ball quick. Because like you said earlier, Baltimore will blitz. And once they see they can get to you, they will continue to blitz. They will not slow it down. So we have to be ready to go. Offensive line has got to be ready to go. Saffold needs to get healthy. I don't know what's wrong with him. I didn't hear. But he needs to be ready to come back, and we need to be able to run the ball. But the bottom line is we got to play better defense. Today was a good start. Can they do it again next week?
Can they do it again next week? And can they run the football on that Ravens front? Of course, because last time we played the Ravens, Calais Campbell didn't play, had a calf injury. And so that's going to make a huge difference for that defense. Brandon Williams didn't even play for that matter. And so, those guys are back. Those guys are healthy. And Ndakwe, he was out today. Jimmy Smith was out, so I don't know if they'll be back next week. But, Ndakwe gave us some problems the last time on the pass rush.
Oh, man.
And so,
some Braille's lunch got had on that game, But
right.
Here's the other thing, too, man. We just got to be careful about you mentioning all these guys. And I thought about just one thing real quick. And, they got extra motivation because, what we did to them before the game this last time. So, they're coming in with a little extra motivation.
Yeah, he's going to bring that up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too, Jabbar. He says, here's a big stat of the night. The first season that since we had the same starting quarterback for all 16 games. That's pretty big. He's correct. That's the first time.
That's true.
First time in a while
that
we've had the same quarterback all 16 games. And that goes a long way. That goes a long way with your chemistry of your football team, the leadership of your football team, and the coaches being able to count on him to make those plays and deliver in those tight situations.
Right. And I think that goes back to, 2007 when Vince Young was actually the starter for the whole season and everything.
Yeah,
I don't count 2008 because Vince started the first game, but then Kerry Collins came in,
took over,
and Jeff Fisher just handed him the job. So, I think 2007 was the last time that we had one quarterback start all 16 games.
Thank y'all again for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G. Witt. Join us next weekend, man. We'll get the schedule when it official comes out about the Titans hosting the playoff game against the Baltimore Ravens. First round matchup gonna be tough, man, but believe the Titans will be able to pull it out. Again, I got to give a shout out, man, to Sam Sloan for Miami University. I saw big Collier on there, man. I see you join us, man. Shout out to big Anthony Collier, man. Big 99 for the Miami of Ohio. Got another question, man. So is our defense effective with man-to-man coverage? I thought that's what they played all year long. They have played a lot of man coverage, but here's the problem. They can't get no pressure on the quarterback.
Right. And that's the issue.
Right. So you could be Deion Sanders, you could be whoever you want to be, but you can only cover for so long. If they don't get any pressure on their quarterback and he got time, or the receivers can break off their routes and run back and he can scramble around, it ain't gonna matter.
And what you got to remember is this: the average NFL play takes about 6 seconds to run. Quarterbacks usually try to get the ball out within 2.5 seconds at the most. And they get 3 seconds, they get itchy. As you saw in the game today, like you said earlier, Deshaun Watson had 7, 8, 9 seconds to throw the ball. And the NFL, that's a lifetime. So they have got to manufacture pressure. Yes, they play man-to-man a lot. Earlier in the season, they were playing a lot of that soft zone that was not working, that people were picking them apart. You notice they started playing more man-to-man because the zone just doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
And so it's going to be interesting to see. But I give credit where credit is due. Hats off to them. 11-win season.
11-win season, man.
4 years in a row, 9-7. AFC division champs, AFC South. So you like that. So now it's about getting in the playoffs and making some noise.
Right, and man-to-man is better right now because we got rid of Slow Joe. That's been brought out so many times.
I wasn't even gonna bring that up.
Well, people were bringing it up, so I had to say it.
Yeah, I got you. I was gonna leave that alone. But,
no, I agree with you, Deion. It's not really man-to-man when they 10 to 15 yards off. He says 20, but I'm gonna say 10 to 15. You're right. It's not really man-to-man because who plays 10 to 15 yards off in man-to-man?
No.
You saw a little bit more press today, especially with Adoree, and I like it. I think, man, I'm just hopeful that now that, again, I say everybody's healthy in the secondary, you'll see more. 'Cause, it's not bad to play zone. It's not. But here's the problem. No. Here's the problem with playing zone. If you can't get a pass rush with your 4 guys or your 3 guys when you play zone, it's not going to work. They're going to pick you apart all day long.
Yeah. And even it's again, playing zone, playing man-to-man, it all comes down to getting pressure on the quarterback.
That's right.
And if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, then you're going to have problems. You saw today, we got some sacks. We got some pressure on Deshaun Watson. He had to make some off-schedule throws. Now, he made a lot of them because Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
He's carried that team the whole season.
That's right. Exactly.
But the bottom line is, when you were putting pressure on him, you were making them work for it. The problem we had was that you had DBs not paying attention to what they were supposed to be doing, looking at things in the backfield. And I'm like, dude, your job is to make sure the man doesn't get deep. Regardless of what goes on up front, you're playing too many, you're trying to wear too many hats instead of doing your job.
And that's what happened on the flea flicker. Byard, he jumps down in the box. Why is he worried about that? Don't worry about that. You are the safety. What is the role of a safety? You play deep, you do not get beat deep.
Yeah.
Man, he bit hard on that.
And even on that one, you saw that one, both him and Adore.
Adore too. That's right.
Yeah,
looking in the backfield.
on the run. And I'm like, dude, your job is to make sure the man doesn't get behind you. Come on. So, again, it's just one of them things, man, where we're going to have to, as a defense, got to get better. You like what you saw today, even though the game remained close. I still said the only reason why it got close was because they took their foot off the gas, defensively. Offensively, we were running the ball. We were pushing them. We were actually doing pretty good until Derek fumbled, which is a rarity for him. 2 fumbles in a season, that's weird.
Yeah.
3, actually. He had 2 today.
Yeah, that was that one that the first one he had was kind of, I'm gonna say it was kind of fluky because the way that Cunningham was coming off the block, he was spinning out of it and he slung his hand back to try to grab him and he hits the ball. Of course, he was going to go for probably another 20 or 30 yards, if not all the way to the end zone.
Yeah, because he had a wide open lane.
He did. So, but anyway, guys, thank y'all for joining us again for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G. Witt, Titans, Ravens AFC. This weekend playoffs, man. We will put something out depending on when the game is and when we'll have the show. And so be looking out for that. Thank y'all for the love and support of the show, and check us out after the playoff game next weekend. Wild card matchup. Baltimore coming here. Titans at home at Nissan Stadium. First time since 2008. Go ahead.
Before we sign off, I got to say this.
All right.
NFL football this season, the playoffs is really, really going to be good.
It is.
Because we don't have to watch the Cowboys. They are done.
Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. Good job, Jerry Jones.
Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. Jerry's off on his yacht somewhere, sulking because everything he tried to do didn't work. He's probably second guessing letting Jason Garrett go. And I'm not sure how's it going tonight. I haven't been keeping up with the game, but hopefully the Washington football team wins and they get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I want them to win too. They're playing some pretty good football. Got a very young team, old crafty veteran at quarterback. Deion, that second fumble for Derrick Henry, they were going from right to left on your screen, on your TV, and Dennis Kelly actually picks it up on the side over there. I don't think they called it a fumble on the field. I think they ruled it a fumble, but he did fumble the ball. I don't know if he was down yet. They didn't show a replay of it, but Dennis Kelly ended up with the football, and it was near the Titans sideline. So
they left it alone. They didn't say he fumbled it. It was covered by it because Dennis Kelly was all over it and everything. So they may have marked him down already, but that was the second fumble.
Yeah, but Kenny says look out for those Cowboy fans, man. But anyway, thank y'all for the show.
Hey, not worried about the Cowboy fans now. Stephen A. Smith is saying it better than anybody. How about them Cowboys?
Thank y'all again for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustment. Join us next weekend, man. Wild card round, Baltimore, Tennessee. Join us when the game comes out, the time and the schedule we'll put out when the show is. Join us, man. We'll be right here talking about that victory, that dub over the Ravens next weekend. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Playoff time. Titans up 8 out there. G. Witt, man. We out of here.
Peace.